This is kind of similar to the what you just saw with some of the dependently required fields, but this is just preventing users from actually altering fields based on some condition. So this, as it says, note, if you want fields to always be read-only, you can define that in other ways, including through permissions and whatnot, especially if there's a lot of fields that you don't want access to, it might be easier to just do that through permissions. If you do want them to be dependently required or dependently read-only, then business rules make sense. There's a lot of places where it makes sense to use dependently read-only fields. As Megan just mentioned, if you have calculated fields of that sort, it sometimes makes sense to make those read-only just so those calculations aren't adjusted or broken by users actually editing data. There's also some kind of cool and interesting ways to take advantage of some of the system settings and other values that are available to you in the conditions, including time. So an example here that we mentioned is locking a field from editing prior to 9 a.m. This would be useful if you have an integration with some other system and it's syncing data and you know that integration happens before 9 a.m. This way you could prevent users from editing anything while that's syncing, and then once 9 a.m. hits, they have access to edit the field as they please. Again, just a note, business rule logic is only applied through the user interface, so anything like an integration or using the import wizard is not going to run into issues with the read-only fields. So let me show you some examples here. Just a quick example that's actually out of the box is the fact that the age field here is read-only, and that's based on the birth date here. So if you edited this, it adjusts the age, but you can't actually edit this yourself. I'll show you a couple examples here. Bear with me, I did have this tab open and I think I just closed it a second ago.
Yes, that's the downside of doing all these examples live is we have to wait for them to load.
Yeah. Okay, so there's actually an example I already threw in here, but we'll actually end up editing this one as well. But so this is the example I talked about was you can actually use a system variable here and use current time, and you can set set specific times and that kind of thing. But with time, it makes sense to use the greater than, and you can select time here and 9 a.m. And then what this will do is actually prevent you from editing the mobile phone number before 9 a.m. So I could set it for right now and we could wait for that, but I'm sure we don't want to sit around for minutes just waiting for something to tick along. So we'll move on. So in this example, we're going to set the mobile phone, business phone, and email address as read-only when the type of customer is contact person. The idea here is if this is the person that we need to get in contact with for an account, then we definitely don't want to alter any of this data. Again, this is something that could be done through permissions if need be, but in this case, we'll do it through business rules. So we'll set the contact type as contact person. We will actually set it as not equal to contact person, and this will allow the field to be editable when the contact type is not contact person.
That one gets me every time. The logic is
Yeah.
backwards of what I think it should be.
Right. And we'll just go ahead and do the same. And I didn't edit the other dynamically read-only business rule that we had set, the 9 a.m., the time set one, but they should be able to function together without an issue. So these will override that setting though. So if we do want to use that, we would need to alter these. So we'll go ahead and refresh here. So as you can see, these are still editable. When we alter the type to contact person, these are now all read only. We can no longer edit them. And we can switch this to something else and see that they're editable again.